So I'm going to give you a list of the 4 top pet peeves that in 24 years of doing this full-time as a real estate broker just annoy me. If you do these 4 things, I can assure you, you will frustrate the hell out of me. We try hard not to annoy you guys. We try hard not to frustrate you. As a matter of fact, if you see my videos, I always say we're the problem solvers. We are the problem solvers. It's our job to be unemotional and problem solve. And we understand that on your end, you're gonna be very emotional with a lot of things. That's normal. You're buying the house. But there's absolutely things you can do that will just frustrate the shit out of us. And I figured, why not have a little fun and do a podcast on this? So here are the 4 things you can do to frustrate me during a transaction. Your mouth is bigger than your stomach. You qualify for an $800,000 house. You don't want a payment more than $4,500 a month, and yet you go out and look at $1 million homes. Not only that, you send me properties that you want me to schedule to show that are $1 million. Makes me think, is the pre-qualification wrong? Do you really have more money than you're saying you do? What's going on? And 90% of the time, it's just your mouth is bigger than your stomach. You probably know you can afford it. You shouldn't afford it. You probably don't want to afford it. But hey, it looks so much nicer. And that creates all sorts of problems. Because now, when you go look at a $1 million home that, by the way, you can never buy, and then I show you an $800,000 home the same day, how do you think that $800,000 home looks compared to the $1 million home? You do yourself a lot of injustice. So, don't do that. Second thing, let's assume you make an offer and you buy a house. And we're in escrow and we have to do an inspection. And you pay someone good money to inspect the house. And you bring your parents. Now, God bless your parents. I know they want the best for you, and I know they're there to take care of you. I understand that. But you've paid a professional to be an inspector. And then your dad walks around being an inspector. And he scares the crap out of you and makes you question the purchase. Now, 99% of the time, it's just added stress on the buyers, but they still move forward. But there's been a few deals that have fallen apart because dad went in, made a big deal of something that really wasn't a big deal. We know they meant well, but they gotta be dad. So if you're going to bring your parents to the inspection, nothing wrong with that. Just remind them that this is your house and you're paying an inspector to inspect, and that's the way it's going to be. Now, there's a lot of parents out there that are great at explaining to their kids what the inspector said, and they're like, don't worry about it, not a big deal, I can help you. But there are definitely those parents that they make a big deal of something that's not a big deal, and there's nothing we can do about that. Nothing. So, do me a favor. If you bring your parents, just kind of set the correct expectation. Let them know, hey, you're there to see the house, but I'm paying someone to be an inspector. There's no need for you to be an inspector. Number 3, you lose sight of the big picture, which is buying the house or selling the house. And you let something small get in the way of the big picture. Perfect example. I'm in escrow with a client. I got them $35,000 more for the sale of their home. $35,000 more than they expected to get in the house. $35,000. They were haggling over $300 on the request for repair. The buyer requested $3,800. We got it down to $2,500. My clients wanted to only give them $2,200. The buyers walked away. Now, luckily I brought them back, but I reminded my clients, do not let $300 that in the big picture is nothing because you're getting more than $35,000 more than you expected. And I reminded them of that. They chose not to listen. It was the principle, they said. Well, when I got the cancellation request from the buyers, they freaked out and said, can we do anything to keep them? Well, luckily, me and the other agent were able to work it out. But we should have never added that added stress. We should have never been in that situation to begin with. So, moral of the story is this. When you lose, do not lose sight of the big picture. And don't let the small things lose that side of that. Okay, guys? Let's see here. The last big pet peeve, not being honest with me. I'm not God. I'm not going to judge. I don't care if you decided to change the cities or the location, or you decided to go from $800,000 to $1 million, even though you could afford $1 million, you shouldn't afford $1 million. That is your decision, not mine. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to guide, and I'm here. If you're a seller, I'm here to get you the most amount of money with the least amount of headache. And if you're a buyer, I'm here to make sure you get the right house, guide you through the process so you don't get screwed. That's it. I don't pick the house. I don't judge. I don't judge. So, do me a favor. Next time you have an interaction with your realtor or me, just be honest. If you're honest, I can figure it out. I can work it out. Anybody who knows me will tell you I am a problem solver. If you're not honest, but yet you're making decisions based off things that I feel are not logical. If I don't know what's going on, I can't do anything about it. Perfect example is I had a client that works in Riverside, rents in Riverside, wants to buy in Riverside. But the house they want, they can't afford in Riverside, but they can afford in city of Menifee. And it was a beautiful area in Menifee, and they loved it. Well, we made an offer, got it accepted, and they canceled. And they just told me it wasn't the right house, but they wouldn't give me more information. Well, later on I found out that the girlfriend and the parents wanted him to be closer to Riverside. That's okay. But then we have to change the expectation of the home. And we did, and we got him an older home in Riverside, 30 years older than the one in Menifee, but he's in Riverside, close to his parents and close to his work. And they love it. But he was scared to tell me, like somehow, I was going to reprimand him. No, you're the client. Let me know. Let me know. So if you do these 4 things, I promise you, you will frustrate me. And frustrating me is very hard to do because I am the most patient man in the world. But there are certain things I just can't. I struggle with. Have a good one, guys.